we are going to be finishing, or not finishing the book today, but we will be reading chapter 18. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay, totally fine, I lied. You don't look fine, Eric said. Mind if I sit down? No, go ahead, I said listlessly. I knew my nose was bright red. I'd definitely been snotting on myself when he walked up, and I had a sneaking suspicion he witnessed at least part of the nightmare between Heath and me. The night was just getting worse and worse. I glanced at him and decided, what the hell? I might as well continue the trend. In case you didn't realize, it was me who saw that little scene between you and Aphrodite in the hall yesterday. He didn't even hesitate. I know, and I wish you hadn't. I don't want you to get the wrong idea about me. And what idea would that be? That there's more going on between Aphrodite and me than there really is. Not my business, I said. He shrugged. I just want you to know that she and I are not going out anymore. I almost said that it would sure look like Aphrodite wasn't aware of that, but then I thought about what had just happened between Heath and me. With a sense of surprise, I realized that maybe I shouldn't judge Eric too harshly. Okay, you guys aren't going out, I said. He sat quietly beside me for a little while, and then he spoke again. I thought he sounded almost angry. Aphrodite didn't tell you about the blood in the wine. He hadn't said it like a question, but I answered anyway. Nope. He shook his head, and I saw his jaw tighten. She told me she was going to. She said she'll let you know while you were changing your clothes so that if you weren't okay with it, you could skip drinking from the goblet. She lied. Not a big surprise, he said. You think? I said, feeling my own anger building inside me. This whole thing being just wrong. I got pressured to go into the Dark Daughters ritual where I'm tricked into drinking blood. Then I meet up with my almost ex-boyfriend who just happens to be 100% human. And no damn body bothered to explain to me that the tiniest speck of his blood would turn me into a monster. I bit my lip and held on to my anger, so I want to start crying again. I almost decided I wouldn't say anything about it, but thinking I saw Elizabeth's ghost. That was too much weird to admit for one night. No one explained it to you because it's something that shouldn't have started to affect you until you were a sixth former, he said quietly. Huh? I was back to being dazedly accurate. Bloodlust doesn't usually begin until you're sixth former and almost completely change. Once in a while you'll hear about a fifth former who also has to deal with it early, but that doesn't happen very often. Wait, what are you saying? My mind felt like bees were buzzing around in it. You started having classes about bloodlust and other things mature vampires have to deal with about during your fifth form, and then in your final year, that's mostly what school focuses on, that and whatever you decide to major in. But I'm a third former, barely. I only been marked a few days. Your mark is different. You're different, he said. I don't want to be different, I realized. I was shouting and got my voice under control. I just want to figure out how to get through this like everybody else. Too late, Z, he said. So what now? I think you better talk to your mentor. It's Nephrite, isn't it? Yeah, I said miserably. Hey, cheer up. Nephrite's great. She hardly ever takes on feelings to mentor anymore. She just really believes in you. I know. It's just that this makes me feel. How did I feel about talking to Nephrite about what happened tonight? Embarrassed like I was 12 years old again and had to tell our male gym teacher that I started my period and had to go to the locker to change my shorts. I peeked sideways at Eric. Then there he sat, gorgeous and attentive and perfect health. I couldn't tell him that, so instead I blunted, stupid. It makes me feel stupid, which wasn't actually a lie, but mostly what it made me feel. Besides, embarrassed and stupid was scared. I didn't want this thing that made it impossible for me to fit in. Don't feel stupid. You're actually way ahead of the rest of us. So I hesitated, then took a deep breath and barreled on. Did you like the way the blood tasted in the goblet tasted tonight? Well, here's the deal with that. My first full moon ritual with the Dark Daughters was the end of my third former year, except for the refrigerator that night. I was the only third farmer there, just like you tonight. He gave a small, hopeless laugh. They only invited me because I finally finaled in the Shakespeare soldier contest and was being flown to London for the competition the next day. He glanced at me and looked a little embarrassed. No one from the school house of Night had ever made it to London. It was a big deal. He shook his head self-mockingly. Actually, I thought I was a big deal. So the Dark Daughters wanted me to join them, and I did. I knew about the blood. I was given the opportunity to turn it down. I didn't. But did you like it? This time his laugh was real. I gagged and puked my guts up. It was the most disgusting thing I ever tasted. I groaned. My head dropped forward and I put my hand in my hands. You're not helping me. Because you thought it was good, better than good, I said, my face still in my hand. You said it was the most disgusting thing you ever tasted. I thought it was the most delicious, the most delicious till I stopped realizing what I had been about to say. Until you tasted fresh blood, he said gravely. I nodded my head, afraid to speak. He tugged at my hands, made me bury my face. Then he put his fingers under my chin and forced me to look straight at him. Don't be embarrassed or ashamed. It's normal. Loving the taste of blood is not normal. Not for me. Yes, it is. All vampires have to deal with their lust for blood, he said. I am not a vampire. Maybe you're not yet. But you're most definitely not the average fleeting, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're special, though, and special can be amazing. Slowly, he took his fingers from my chin. As he said earlier that night, he traced the shape of a pinnacle and softly over my darkened mark, like the way his finger felt against my skin. Warm and a little rough. I also liked that being near him didn't set off all weird reactions I had to being close to Heath. I couldn't hear Eric's blood beating or see the pulse in his neck jumping. Not that I mind if he kissed me. Hell, I was being a vampire slut. What was next? Would no man of any species, which might even include Damien, be safe around me? Maybe I should avoid all guys until I figure out what was going on with me and I knew I could control myself. Then I remember that I had been trying to avoid everyone, which is why I was out here in the first place. What are you doing out here, Eric? I followed you, he said simply. Why? I figured I knew what effort Daddy had put in there, and I thought you might need a friend. You're rooming with Stevie Ray, right? I nodded. Yeah, I thought about finding her and sending her out here to you, but I didn't know if you want her to know about. He paused, made a vague gesture back in the direction of the record. No, I don't want her to know. I stumbled over the words. I said them so fast. That's what I thought, so that's why you're stuck with me, he smiled, and then looked kind of uncomfortable. I really didn't mean to listen in between you and Heath. Sorry about that. I focused on petting Nala, who he watched me watch Heath kiss me, and then saw the whole blood thing. God, how embarrassing. Then a thought struck me, and I glanced at him, smiling ironically. I guess that makes us even. I didn't mean to listen in between you and Aphrodite either. He smiled back at me. We're even. I like that. His smile made my stomach do funny things. I wouldn't really have flown down and saw Kayla's blood. I managed to say. He laughed. He really had a nice laugh. I know that. Vampires can't fly. I freaked her out, though. I said. From what I saw, she deserved it. He waited a beat and then said, Can I ask you something? It's kind of personal. Hey, you see me drink blood from a cup and like it. Kissed the guy, licked his blood like I'm a puppy, and then bawled my eyes out. And I've seen you turn down a blowjob. I think I can manage to answer a kind of personal question. Was he really in a trance? He looked like it and sounded like it. I screamed uncomfortable and Nala complained at me until I managed until I petted her quiet. It seems like he was. I finally managed to say, I don't know if it was a trance or not. And I totally didn't mean to put him under my power or anything freaky like that. But he did change. I demo. He's been smoking and drinking. He might have just been high. I heard Heath's voice again, raising from my memory like a clogging mist. Yes, whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. And I saw that intense look he'd given me. Hell, I haven't even known Heath the Jog was capable of that kind of infantility, at least off the football field. I knew for sure he couldn't spell the word intensity, not football. Had he have been like that the whole time or just after you started to, not the whole time, why? Well, the rules out two things that could have been making him act weird. One, if he was just high, then he would have been like that the whole time too. He might have been acting like that because you're really pretty, and that alone could make a guy feel like he's in a trance around you. His words made something flutter low in my stomach again, something that no guy made me feel before. Not Heath, the jock, or Jordan, the sloth, or Jonathan, the stupid band-aid kid. My dating history isn't long, but it's colorful. Really? I said like a moron. Really, he said. He smiled very normal like. How could this guy like me? I'm a blood drinking dork, but it wasn't it either because he should have noticed how hot you looked even before you kissed him. What? And what you're saying is that he didn't seem in trance until after the blood came into the picture. Enchanted. He actually said enchanted. I was too busy grinning stupidly at his words, use of complex vocab to think before I answered. Actually, it happened when I started to hear his blood. Say again? Oh, crap. I had meant to say that. I cleared my throat. He started to change when I heard the blood pound through his veins. Only adult vampires can hear that. He paused and then, with a quick smile, added, and he sounded like the name of a gay soap opera star. Close. He's a BA store quarterback. Eric nodded and looked amused. By the way, I like what you changed your name to. Knight is a cool last name, I said, trying to hold up the end of the conversation and say something even slightly interested. He smiled wide. I didn't change it. Eric Knight is the name I was born with. Oh, well, I like it. Why didn't someone just shoot me? Thanks. He glanced at his watch and see it was almost 6:30 in the a.m., which nearly seemed freaky. Well, it'll be getting light soon, he said, guessing that this was our cue for us to go our separate ways. I started to gather my feet under me and let it get a better hold on Nala so I could stand up, and I felt Eric's hand under my elbow steadying me. He helped me up and just stood there so close that Nala's tail was brushing against his black sweater. I asked you if you wanted to get something to eat, but the only place serving food right now is the rec hall, and I don't think you want to go back there. No, definitely not. I'm not hungry anyway, which I realized as soon as I said it, was a big lie. At the mention of food, I was suddenly starving. Well, do you mind if I walk you back to your dorm? He asked. Nope, I said, trying to be nonchalant. It's Stevie Ray, Damien, and the twins would totally die if they saw me with Eric. We didn't say anything as we started walking, but it wasn't an awkward, uncomfortable song. Actually, it was nice. Once in a while, our arms would brush against each other, and I thought about how tall and cute he was, and how much I liked him to hold my hand. Oh, he said after a while. I didn't finish answering the question before. The first time I tasted blood at the Dark Daughters ritual, I hated it, but it got better and better each time. I can't say I think it's delicious, but it's grown on me, and I definitely like the way it makes me feel. I looked sharply at him, dizzy and kind of weak, like you're drunk, only you're not. Yeah. Hey, did you know it's impossible for a vamp to get drunk? I shook my head at him. It's something about the change does to our metabolism. It's even tough for a fleeling to get wasted. So drinking blood is the way vamps get wasted. He shrugged. I suppose. Anyway, drinking human blood is forbidden for fleeling. Well, then why wasn't anyone include the teachers in on what Aphrodite's up too. She's not drinking human blood. Eric, I was there. Blood was definitely in the line, and it came from that Elliot kid, I shrugged. And what a gross choice he was, too. But he's not human. Wait, it's forbidden to drink human blood? I said slowly. Oh, hell. That's what I just done. But it's okay to drink in another felion's blood. Only if it's.
I love you, baby.
I love you, too. Only if it's consensual. That makes no sense. Sure, it does. It's normal for our bloodlust to develop as our bodies change, so we need an outlet. Fleetings heal quickly, so there's no real change of someone getting hurt, and there wasn't any after effects, like when a vamp feeds off a living human. What he was saying was banging through my head like the annoying, too loud music that blared in Westfield, and I gasped. The first thing I could think clear was living human. I screamed, tell me you didn't mean versus feeding off a corpse. I was feeling a little nauseous again. He laughed. No, I mean versus drinking blood. Horrors from the vamp's blood donors. Never heard of such a thing. Most humans haven't. You won't learn about it until your fifth former. Then some more of what he said broke through the confusion that was my mind. What did you mean by after effects? We just started learning about it in vamp Scientology 312 seems that when an adult vamp feeds from a living human, there can be a strong bond formed. It's not always on the part of the vamp, but humans become infected pretty easily. It's dangerous for the human. I mean, think about it. The blood loss alone isn't a good thing. Then add that to the fact we outlive humans by decades, sometimes even centuries. Look at it from a human's point of view. It would really suck to be totally in love with someone who never seems to age, while you get old and wrinkled and then die. Again, I thought about the days, but intense way he had looked at me, I knew that no matter how hard it might be, I have to tell Nephrite everything. Yep, that would suck, I said faintly. Here we are. I was surprised to see we stopped in front of the girls' dorm. I looked at him. Well, thanks for following me, I think, I said with a very weary smile. Here, anytime you want someone to butt in when he's not invited, I'm the guy for you. I'll keep that in mind, I said. Thanks. I heaved it now up on my hips and started for the day. Hey, Z, he called. I turned back. Don't give the dress to Aphrodite. Don't give back the... By her including you in the circle tonight, she informally offered you a position in the Dark Daughters. It's tradition that the High Priest in training offers you gives a gift to the new member of her on her first night. I don't imagine you'll want to join, but you still have the right to keep the dress, especially because you look so much better in it than she ever did. He reached forward and took my hand, the one that wasn't clutching my cat, and turned it over so that my wrist faced up. Then he took his finger, traced the veins that were so close to the surface that made my pulse jump crazily. And you should also know that I'm the guy for you if you decide you might like to try another sip of blood. Keep that in mind, too. Eric bent and, still looking in my eyes, he lightly bit the pulse point at my wrist before kissing the spot softly. This time, the fluttery feeling in my stomach was more intense. It made the inside of my thighs tingle and my breath deepen. His lips on my wrist. He met my eyes, and I felt a shiver of despair pass through my body. I knew he could feel me tremble. He let his tongue flicker against my wrist, which made me shiver again. Then he smiled at me and walked away into the pre-dawn light. Chapter 19. My wrist was still tingling from Eric's totally unexpected kiss and bite and leg, and I wasn't sure I could speak yet, so I was relieved that there were only a few girls in the big entry room, and they did little more than glance at me before they went back to watching that what sounded like American Next Top Model. I hurried into the kitchen and plugged Nala down on the floor, hoping she wouldn't run off while I made a sandwich. She didn't. Actually, she followed me around the kitchen like a little orange dog, complaining at me in her weird non-meow. I kept telling her I know and I understand because I figured she was yelling at me about what a moron I'd been tonight. And well, she was right. Sandwich made, I grabbed A bag of pretzels. Stevie Ray had been right. I couldn't find any decent junk food in any of the cabinets. Some brown pop. Don't really care what kind. Just so that it's brown and not diet sheesh. And my cat. I slipped up the stairs. Zoe, I've been so worried about you. Tell me everything. Curled up in bed with a book, Stevie Ray was obviously waiting for me. She was wearing her pajamas that had cowboy hats all over the drawstring button, cotton pants, and her short hair was sticking out on one side as if she'd fallen asleep on it. I would swear she looked about 12 years old. Well, I said, Brett, looks like we have a pet. I turned so that Stevie Ray could see Nala squirming against my hip. Here, help me before I drop something. If it's the cat, she'll probably never stop complaining. She's adorable. Stevie Ray leaped up and rushed over to try to take Nala from me, but the cat clung to me as though someone wouldn't kill her or she'd let go. So Stevie Ray took my food instead and set it on my bedside. That dress is amazing. Yeah, I changed before the ritual. It reminded me that I was going to have to give it back to Aphrodite. Fine. I was not keeping the gift, even though Eric said I should. Anyway, returning it sounded like a good idea. A good time to thank her for forgetting to clue me in about the blood. Hag, bitch. So how was it? I sat on my bed and gave Nala a pretzel, which she promptly started battling around. At least she stopped complaining. Then I took a bite of a sandwich. Yes, I was hungry, but I was also buying time. I didn't know what I should tell Stevie Ray and what I shouldn't. The blood thing was just confusing and so gross. Would she think I was awful? Would she be scared of me? I swallowed and decided to steer the conversation to a safer topic. Every night walked me home. Get out. She bobbed up and down on the bed like a country jack and about to tell me everything. He kissed me. I said, crinkling my eyebrows. You have to be kidding me. Where? How? Was it good? He kissed my hand. I decided quickly to lie. I didn't want to explain the whole wrist pulse thing, bite thing. It was when he said goodnight. We were right in front of the dorm, and yes, it was good. I grinned at her around another mouthful of the sandwich. I'll bet Aphrodite shit puppies when you left the red car with him. Well, actually, I left before him, and he caught up with me. I gone for a long walk along the wall, which is where I found Nala. I scratched the cat's head. She curled up next to me. I closed her eyes and started purring. Actually, I think she found me. Anyway, I climbed up the wall because I thought she needed rescuing, and then you will not believe this. I saw something that looked like Elizabeth's ghost, and then my almost ex-boyfriend from SIHS, he and my ex best friend showed up. What? Who? Slow down. Start with Elizabeth's ghost. I shook my head and chewed. Though bites of sandwich, I explained. It was really creepy and really weird. I was sitting up on the wall petting Nala, and something caught my attention. I looked down, and there was this girl standing not too far away from me. She looked up at me with glowing red eyes, and I swear it was Elizabeth. No way. Were you totally freaked out? Totally. The second she saw me, she gave this horrible shriek and ran off. I would have been scared shitless. I was, only I hardly had time to think about it when Heath and Kayla showed up. What do you mean? How could they be here? No, not here. They were outside the wall. They must have heard me trying to settle Nala down after she completely freaked at Elizabeth's ghost because they came running up. Nala saw her too. I nodded. Stevie Ray shrieked. Then she must have been really here. Are you sure she's dead? My voice was almost a whisper. There couldn't have been some mistake made, and she's still alive, but wandering around the school. It sounded ridiculous, but not much more ridiculous than me seeing an actual ghost. Stevie Ray swallowed hard. She's dead. I saw her die. Everyone in class did. She looked like she was going to cry, and the whole subject was creeping me out, so I shifted to a less scary topic. Well, could be wrong. Maybe it was just some kid with weird eyes who looked like her. It was dark, and then Heath and Kayla were suddenly there. What was that all about? Heath said they came to bust me out. I rolled my eyes. Can you imagine? Are they stupid? Apparently. Oh, and then Kayla, my ex-best friend, made it obviously that she's after Heath. Stevie Ray gasped. Slut. No kidding. Anyway, I told them to leave and not come back, and then I got upset, which is when Eric found me. Oh, was he sweet and romantic? Yeah, he kind of was. He called me Z. Ooh, a nickname is a serious good sign. That's what I thought. So then he walked me back to the dorm. Yeah, he said that he'd take me to get something to eat, but the only thing that was still open was the rec hall, and I didn't want to go back there. Oh, crap. I knew right away I shouldn't have said that. Were the dark daughters awful? I looked at Stevie Ray with her big deer-like eyes, and I know I couldn't tell her about the drinking blood. Not yet. Well, you know how Nephite was sexy and beautiful and classy? Stevie Ray nodded. Aphrodite did basically what Nephite did, but she looked like a hook. I always thought that she really was really nasty, Stevie Ray said, shaking her head in disgust. Tell me about it. I looked at Stevie Ray and blurted. Yesterday, right before Nephite took me to the dorm, I saw Alfred trying to give Eric a blowjob. No way, she was disgusting. Wait, you said she was trying to do it? What's up with that? He was telling her no and pushing her away. He said he didn't want her anymore. Stevie Ray giggled. I'll bet that made her lose what little of her mind she had left. I remember how she'd been all over him even when he was clearly telling her no. Actually, I could have felt sorry for her if she had been so struggled to put into words. Hag from hell, like Stevie Ray offered helpfully. Yeah, I guess that's it. She has this attitude like it's her right to be as mean and nasty as she wants to be, and we should all just bow down and accept it. Stevie Ray nodded. That's how her friends are too. Yeah, I met the awful triplets. You mean warlike, terrible, and wasp? Exactly. What were they thinking when they took those horrible names? I said, popping the pretzels in my mouth. They were thinking exactly what the entire group of first thinks, that they are better than everyone else and untouchable because Nasty Aphrodite is going to be the next high priestess. I spoke the next words as they whispered through my mind. I don't think Nates will allow that. What do you mean? They are already the in-group. And Aphrodite had been the leader of the Dark Daughters since her affirmative became obvious during her 5th former year. What's her affinity? She gets visions like a future of tragedy, Stevie Ray scowled. You think she fakes them? Oh, heck no. She's amazingly accurate. What I think, and Damien and the twins agree with me, is that she only tells about the visions if she has one when she's around people outside her little group. Wait, are you saying she knows about bad things that are going to happen when it's time to stop them, but she doesn't do anything about it? Yep, last week she had a vision during lunch, but the heads closed ring around her and started leading her out of the dining hall. If Damien hadn't run right into them because he was late and hungry, hurrying into lunch, making them scatter so that he could see that Aphrodite was in the middle of a vision. So no one would ever have known, and a whole plane full of people would have probably be dead. I choked on the pretzel between coughs. A plane full of people, what the hell? Yeah, Damien could tell Aphrodite was having a vision, so he got enough right. Aphrodite had to tell her the vision, which was seeing a jet crash just after takeoff. Her vision are so clear that she could describe the airport and read the numbers on the tail of the plane. Nephite took the information and contacted the different airports, and they double-checked the plane and found some problems that they hadn't noticed before, and said that if they hadn't fixed it, the plane would have crashed immediately after takeoff. But I know darn well Aphrodite wouldn't have said a word if she hadn't been caught. Even though she made up a big lie about her friends leading her from the dining hall because they knew she wanted to be taken to Nephite right away. Total BS. I started to say that I couldn't believe that even Aphrodite in her head would purposely allow the death of hundreds of people. But then I remembered the hateful stuff they said that night. Human men suck. They should all die. And I realized they hadn't just been they've been serious. So why didn't Aphrodite lie to Nephite? Tell her a different airport or switch the numbers on the plane around or something. Vamps are almost impossible to lie to, especially when they ask you a direct question. And remember, Aphrodite wants to be a high priestess more than anything. If Nephite believes she was as twisted as she is, It would have seriously hurt her future plans. Aphrodite has no business being a high priestess. She's selfish and hateful, and so are her friends. Yeah, well, Nephri doesn't think so. She wants her mentor. I blurted in surprise. You gotta be kidding. And she doesn't see through Aphrodite's crap? That couldn't be right. Nephri is way smarter than that. Stevie shrugs. She acts different around Nephri, but still. And she does have a powerful infirmity, which also means that Nyx has special plans for her. Or she's a demon from hell, and she gets her power from the dark side. Hello? Has anyone not seen Star Wars? It was hard to believe Anakin Skywalker would turn and look what happened there. Zoe, that's like total fiction. Still, I think it makes a good point. Well, try telling that to Nephri. I chewed my sandwich and thought about it. Maybe I should. Nephri did seem way too smart to fall for Aphrodite's games. She probably already knew something was up with the hags. Maybe all she needed was someone to stand up and say something to her. Has anyone ever tried Nephri about Aphrodite? I asked. Not that I'm aware. No, not that I know of. Why not? Stevie Ray looked uncomfortable. Well, I think it seems kind of telltale-like. Anyway, what would we tell Nephri? That we think Aphrodite might hide her visions? That the only proof we have is that she's a hateful bitch? Stevie Ray shook her head. No. I can't see that going over well with Nephri. Plus, if by some miracle she believed us, what would Nephri do? It's not like she's going to kick her out of the school so she can cough herself to death on the streets. She'd still be here with her pack of hags and all those guys who would do anything for her if she snapped her little claw fingers at them. I guess it's just not worth it. Stevie Ray had a point, but I didn't like him. I really didn't like him. Things might be different if a major, more powerful fleeting took Aphrodite's place as leader of the Dark Daughters. I jumped giddily and covered it by taking a big gulp of pop. What was I thinking? I wasn't power hungry. I didn't want to be a high priestess or get caught up in the pain in the ass battle with Aphrodite in half the school. The more attractive half at that. I just wanted to find a place for myself in this new life, a place that felt like home, a place where I fit in and was like the rest of the kids. Then I remembered the electric jolts I felt during the casting of both circles, and how the elements seemed to sizzle through my body, and also how I would had to force myself to stay in the circle and not join Aphrodite in the casting. Stevie Ray. When a circle is being cast, do you feel anything? I asked bluntly. What do you mean? Well, like when fire's called to the circle, do you ever feel hot? Nah, I mean, I really like the circle stuff. Sometimes when Nephri is pregnant, I feel a zap of energy traveling through the circle itself, but that's it. So you never felt a breeze when wind's called or smelled rain with water, felt grass under your feet with earth? No way, only a high priestess with a major affinity for the elements would. She broke off suddenly and her eyes got huge. Are you saying that you felt that stuff? Any of that stuff? Maybe. I squirmed. Maybe, she squeaked. Zoe, do you have any idea what this could mean? I shook my head. Just like Sweet and Sonchkalas, we were studying about the most famous vamp high priestess in history. There hasn't been a priestess within a firm for all four elements for hundreds of years. 5.
Now, kiss you real quick, man.
I said miserably. All 5. You felt something with the spirit too? Yeah, I think so, Joe. This is amazing. I don't think there's ever been a high priestess who felt all 5 of the elements. She nodded at my mark. At that, I mean, it means you're different, and you really are. Stevie Ray, can we just keep this between us for a while? I mean, not even tell Damien or the twins. I just want to try to figure this out on my own a little. I feel like everything's happening so fast. But Zoe, I might be wrong. I interrupted quickly. What if I was just excited and nervous because I've been in a ritual, never been in a ritual before? Do you know how embarrassed I'd be if I told people, hey, I'm the only thing ever to have a affinity for all the elements, and it turned out to be nerves? Stevie Ray chewed her cheek. I think you should tell someone. Yeah, then Aphrodite and her herd could be right there to gloat if I turned out that I was imagining things. Stevie Ray pleaded. Oh man, you're totally right. That would really be awful. I won't say anything until you're ready. Promise. Her action reminded me, hey, what is everybody did to you? Stevie Ray looked down at her lap, grasped her hands together, and hunched her shoulders if she suddenly felt her. She invited me to a ritual. I haven't been here very long, only about a month or so, and I was kind of excited that the in group wanted me. She shook her head, still not looking at me. It was stupid of me, but I really didn't know anyone very well yet. And I thought maybe if they would be my friends, so I went. But they didn't want me to be any. They didn't want me to be one of them. They wanted me to be a blood donor for their ritual. They even called me refrigerator, like I wasn't good for anything except holding blood for them. They made me cry when I said no. They laughed at me and kicked me out. That's how I met Damien and then Ern and Sardock. They were hanging out together and they saw me run out of the rec hall, so they followed me and told me not to worry about it. They've been my friends ever since. She finally looked up at me. I'm sorry, I would have said something to you before, except I knew they wouldn't try that with you. You're too strong and everybody is too curious about your mark. Plus, you're beautiful enough to be one of them. Hey, so are you. I felt sick to my stomach thinking about Stevie Ray's being slumped into the chair like Alan about drinking Stevie Ray's blood. No, I'm not. I'm just kind of cute. I'm not them. I'm not them either, I yelled, causing Nala to wake up and mutter restless at me. I know you're not. That's not what I meant. I just meant that I knew they would want you in their group, so they wouldn't try to use you like that. So they managed to trick me and tried their best to freak me out. But why? Wait, I knew they had been up to. Eric said that the first time he drank blood, he hated it and ran out puking. I've only been here 2 days. They wanted to do something that would disgust me so badly that I'd be scared away from them in their ritual forever. Did I get anything?
Yeah, hold on.
They didn't want me to be part of the Dark Daughters, but they also didn't want to turn Nephrite. They didn't want me. Instead, they wanted me to refuse to join them. For whatever twisted reason, Bully Aphrodite wanted to keep me out of the Dark Daughters. Bullies have always pissed me off, which meant, unfortunately, I knew what I had to do. Oh, crap. I was going to join the Dark Daughters. Zoe, you're not mad at me, are you? Stevie Ray said in a small voice. I blinked, trying to clear my guns. Of course not. You were right. Aphrodite didn't try to get me to do anything like give him blood. I popped the last bite of sandwich into my mouth, chewing fast. Hey, do you think you could help me find a litter box for Nala so that I could get some sleep? Stevie Ray instantly brightened and hopped off the bed with her ears perked. Check this out. She probably skipped to the side of the room and held up a big green bag that had Flazian Southern Agriculture Store 2616 Sapphire Tuscaloosa printed in bold white letters across it. From she dumped them to the floor. Litter box, food and water dishes and a box of Friskies cat food with extra hairball protection and a sack of kitty litter. How did you know? I didn't. It was sitting in front of our door when I got back from dinner. She reached into the bottom of the bag and pulled an envelope. Thank you. And pulled.
Where's our mail at my parents' address? Is it in the car?
Yes.
Where in the car, baby?
On the floorboard by where my feet go.
And it's in a bag?
Yes.
All right, baby.
And pulled out an envelope in a adorable pink.
Would you be kind enough to hand me my keys off my backpack?
I'll hand you mine.
All right, that'll work.
I know.
I'm sorry, baby.
I want my keys back.
All right, baby.
Here, this is for you. She handed me the envelope, which I could see had my name printed on it, which quote Nala into her collar. And so, written in beautiful flowing script and special color stone line was one scholar told me she was coming. It was signed with a letter N. Well, that's it for today. We will read chapter 20 tomorrow.